All right, let's see. Let's see if he'll answer. Yo, John, are you there? Maybe you're muted, or maybe your input is wrong. I think everything is good on my side.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah,
Awesome, awesome.
awesome. What is up, man?
I'm all good, man. All good.
Yeah. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
Nice. Would you like to? So you're from London. Would you like to introduce your? Oh, Madhu's. Hey, Madhu. Would you like to introduce yourself and just talk about like how you got into 3D and where you're at today?
Yeah, sure. So I'm John from London. So I apologize if you hear any sirens or noise outside because I live in the main city centre. Um, I've been doing 3D for it's about a year and a little bit now. So I basically started doing it to sort of unblock myself from making my own art for games because I've been a software engineer for 14 years. So for me, it's like a career change, or at least I'm trying to make it a career change right now. Um, so yeah, so I'm just trying to get like I think the plan really for me is to sort of talk to you obviously on here, and the next year is to try and like really focus on curating a sort of portfolio that potentially will get me that sort of first job. Right now, like for this whole year that I've been doing, I've been like obviously learning the technical aspects and sort of trying to churn stuff out to sort of really get the first sort of 100 or 1,000 out the way. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
Dude, that's a lot of programming.
Yeah, yeah,
That's you said 14 years?
yeah. 14 years. Done a lot.
That's awesome. And so okay, so your interest you became quite interested in 3D and it looks like you just kind of dived right in.
Yeah, I just fell in love with it. I mean, I've been sort of dabbling in and out of like Unity, and then obviously more recently over the last year, obviously Unreal Engine. And so the programming side was like part of. I was doing mainly web development stuff, not games, but I was
Mm-hmm.
always doing stuff in my own time. But then I did the 3D stuff, and then I just fell in love with it. And I did it way back when I was a kid, a tiny course back in the day, and I never kind of pursued it. And now I'm trying to pursue that. Um, so yeah.
Dude, cool. Yeah, I'm just going through what I'm seeing here and what is this thing?
Uh,
The
Let me
bomb
bring it.
bomby?
1 second. Let me bring up the stream because I was like getting double voice. Let me just mute it.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, dude. I
No,
can't
it's
see what you're seeing.
uh yeah, it's
Oh, there we
the
go. Yeah,
rookies
that one. Yeah, I got it.
weekly drills.
Yeah, that was the bomb for like the imitation game machine. Um, so I kind of like built a version of it. Yeah, at the moment, I mean, for the last year, I've kind of been doing a lot of assets for the weekly drills on the rookies website, and just to try and push myself to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And learn some new things along the way. I try and learn a new thing each time.
Yeah, this asset's really cool because it's like I'm a with PBR I'm like a sucker for the way materials react with the lighting.
Mm.
And there's so many like so you've got I wouldn't say it's very many differences in your roughness, but there's enough range between the elements that it just kind of pops out. So this one's 3 months ago. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that one was a bit back. Yeah, to be honest, my substance sort of knowledge back then was pretty limited.
yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah, so this is just substance
uh,
or no no it's Maya because I'm like looking at it,
yeah,
I'm like,
sorry,
dude, is that stretching or because
yeah,
I see on the side here, I'm like, no way, is that like just displaced? Okay, I understand now. No, so I mean, the overall presentation is pretty solid, and just the way that you have this kind of put together. Oh, you did some like rigging stuff for it too.
yeah, just to get the dials spinning.
Oh, dude, that's cool. Yeah, because then you can get some random. Oh, dude, that's
Yeah,
rad.
Yeah, I kind of like in the video. I kind of synced it up with the actual Bletchley Park audio and stuff like that, so that it would actually tick over at the right time and stuff like that. But yeah, I got a bit carried away.
No, I mean, sure, sure, you got carried away, but I mean, like, I think that's one of the elements that I would argue is a bit required, or not necessarily required, but it makes people stand out a bit more. Is like
Yeah,
you really get into the asset, and then all of a sudden you're just like you're lost in it, and what you end up making is goes so much further. What is this one? So now I'm looking at the potion making set,
yeah.
which this
So
one I
yeah,
feel like has more issues in it, but I think it has to do with the renderer and getting used to that.
yeah, that one was a push. Again, that was a weekly drill. So I kind of, I think I basically tried to do too much. Basically, is the biggest problem as well in that one. Um, basically was trying to create an entire asset pack sort of thing, as if it could
Mm.
go on the Unreal Store. But yeah,
Oh, so you're thinking about like, okay, how do I utilize this to like help me make what would your side hustle? You had a little bit of a
well,
side hustle itch.
I mean, being honest, it was kind of a like in my mind, it was like maybe that's an avenue to try and get noticed a little bit around like
Mm,
if I can create assets that can go on the marketplace that are genuinely, game ready and real time, and some of the stuff you mentioned previously in the other review around it being like a proper game ready asset and whatnot, then maybe it would get me go a long way as far as a
yeah,
portfolio piece.
yeah. I mean, so the things that stick out to me on this is mainly the lighting, and I think that has a lot to do with the because I can see when we go and look at the last scene we were looking at, it's like because this is rendered in Redshift, a lot of
Mm,
the lighting gets solved for you, right? Or at least that's what I'm assuming when you do like offline rendering. Uh, whereas
yeah,
with Unreal, you have to really understand how lighting is baked or how the real time lighting works. Was this real time lighting or is this baked?
I was baked.
It was baked, okay. Because yeah, it's the things that stick out are like how dark the background is.
Mm,
I don't know if maybe you've seen me do this classic. This is classic Din right here. Screenshot of the piece, pasting it, and then like finding the range inside of it. So if we make the background, let's just make the background like maybe red is not the right. We'll go with yellow. So if we make the background yellow and you double click the layer, we'll just clip off the bottom half, and you can see where essentially where there's no information. And I'm laughing at chat because they're like classic Din, right? So you can see like where there's no information, so there's nothing to play with, right?
yeah,
So if like if you needed to, if you're like, oh, it's too dark, you don't have any like post control to be able to move the range around.
yeah, I'm kind of
Whereas,
done.
yeah, well, it's just like you don't. There's not enough information. Is the
Yeah.
only it's the only thing. Whereas if you look at your this scene and we do the same thing where you double click it and then you try and pull the black away, you can see how little there is in
Mm,
here. There's so much information that because of that, you can move this around pretty freely without fully destroying the image.
yeah, yeah.
And like you can almost pull it down even just a little bit. Wow, that background is not helping us. Uh, but yeah, it's those details that are just really particular when it comes to you can see like I would almost say that your image for this one's maybe a little washed out, just a tiny bit,
Mm,
where it's like the mid range is kind of controlling a lot of the image and it's just making it pop a little bit more is helping. But yeah, when it comes to this potion making set, I think that's the only thing that's really, of course there's the materials and like trying to get the materials to be pushed further, but the lighting
mm.
I think is what's holding it back the most.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I definitely need to revisit some of those props. I think because, as I say, I tried to do too much. I think in the week
Mm.
to try and get it over the line. But yeah,
But dude, the other thing though too is like I wouldn't uh I wouldn't say you don't have to, but just keep going. Like instead of like revisiting, just work on the next piece that's interesting to you. Because I
yeah,
feel like when you revisit stuff, and you're still welcome to revisit things, but I feel like when you revisit stuff, you're just trying to make something that you'd made already, but with your new knowledge, right? And the benefit is you'll make something look better, right, in your portfolio. But it's not a new thing, and it's not something that is necessarily a challenge to you,
yeah,
other than just pushing it further. So
yeah.
you
It's
all
kind of
that would
like
end up is you would update this.
yeah, and that's the kind of thing. I feel like I don't know. I don't know if this is the right approach or not, but like in my mind, I feel like I'm at that sort of tipping point where maybe I like the next things that I do. I kind of want to really put the time in rather than spending a
Mm,
week on something. It's like I really want to put the time to like get it to be perfect for a portfolio piece. Whereas I
right.
think my portfolio now is it's a bit all over the place.
I mean, I think I would agree with that, but so this is 3 months ago. This is 3 months ago. 3 months ago. How often are you posting stuff?
Um, so I mean,
Three
I kind of
months.
moved stuff from the rookies onto here, but I can just put a link
Oh, I see. I see. So
because
like, how old is the finalist rookie substance painter contest?
oh, that one was quite old actually. That was probably one of the
Yeah.
first things I ever did in Substance. And I didn't do the model for it. It was basically a challenge to just use Substance Painter.
Right.
So maybe that should go. I don't know.
I mean, I would say so. If you had to remove stuff from here now, I would
Mhm.
say maybe that model, the potion making set. Let me look at this. The power glove. I feel like it's mainly the presentation that's distracting me from it.
Yeah,
But I don't know, man. I think the rate at which you're pushing content out is quite high. Oh yeah, I just saw you posted the link in chat. But dude,
yeah.
I look at this thumbnail and immediately I'm like, oh yeah, that's Fortnite. Like you've nailed the aesthetic that makes me think of Fortnite when I see just the thumbnail. I think it's the background and the way the shapes are.
Yeah, kind of taken from their kind of shop, if you like, with those triangles and stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, I see all of the techniques that you're using, and it's just a matter of continuing to push forward. The Super Soaker, dude, this one's some more Fortnite stuff. Do you play? Oh yeah, I remember
I,
this, the morning sticker. I wonder if Kaz Fields has seen this in the server. She's the one who made that.
all right. That's such a cool amount.
Dude, I was really happy with this challenge. I think we should do this every year. It should be like a summer
Yeah.
challenge. But the execution of it's quite good. You've even added water. And is this my rocket?
Yeah, well, I thought I'd had a bit of a Dinusty flavor to it.
Yeah. No, this is pretty cool, and it does have like the way it's done with presentation, especially the top image. I think it looks pretty good, man. And I see it when I look at your like as you go through. Oh man, dude, this brings it back. That's crazy. I remember playing this.
Oh,
I was
really?
I
Awesome.
wasn't even born when it came out, but I remember playing it at a neighbor's house.
I was addicted to this thing. I
Yeah,
loved it.
dude. Yeah, I was born in '85, so it's like I don't. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, dude, when I was playing that at my neighbor's house, if I was that parent, I would not have let anyone touch it. You don't get to play this thing. This is mine. But like when I look at the assets, like the medieval chest, I can see you're leveling up. And again, I think it's detail normals would push the surfaces further.
Yeah.
but like I really like it's a bit stylized, but I like the light values that happen in the wear on
Yeah.
in the wood.
Yeah.
I think this is from Forceling's references. I think he actually took that picture.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah, he supplied us with a ton of reference imagery. So, what is the resolution of this asset?
Uh, I can't remember.
So, if I had to guess, I would think it's like maybe a 1024 or maybe like a 1024.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I can't remember.
I'm Andrea says it in chat, but I'm a big fan of that blue paint. And it's nice that it's got a different value to the way it reflects versus like the wood that's exposed under it. That's super cool. Yeah, and so again, I think if you were to take this and like let's say this would be a 1024 texture, I would look at applying a detail normal for the paint and then use a mask to swap out the detail normal for the wood, and then
Right,
use that same detail normal on the wood on top here.
Yeah, I think again, it's also another thing around the portfolio pieces is like you mentioned it before, like about prop art specifically is like kind of that, I don't know, that kind of balance of like you need to kind of potentially show off like it being a game ready asset, but also
But
you know you
also
want it to look
awesome.
good. Yeah, I
Yeah,
suppose
which
that's the
is
art of it, right?
Panjo in chat's like you need 4Ks on 4Ks on 4Ks. Like clearly. But yeah, man, detail normals, they do a ton. And
Yeah.
like if you were to bring this into, I don't think the Marmoset viewer supports it, but it sounds like you can add detail normals if you wanted to in Marmoset. If you did this in Unreal, I would say you would need a mask to say where the paint is and where the wood is and where the metal is. And then that's how you could control which detail normal shows up where.
Okay.
And then after that, there's also the mask to control the strength of the detail normal. Because if you think about like the surface detail on here would maybe get smoother on the edges, or like a little bit softer, like the wood has been worn down and softened.
Yeah.
And that's just like controlling that strength. The detail normal video that I posted will answer, I think, most of that.
Okay.
If you have questions about detail normals, and you can always poke me too. If I don't respond, it's because I'm doing life things or working or sleeping. But yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yes, the shish kebab.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw this and was like, dude, that's dope.
So yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about this at all, or?
Yeah. I mean, I I just I don't know. I just really found it was for a bit of a challenge from like a melee weapon challenge from the school, the Siege Spectrum, where I went to for doing foundations back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I just really got into it, and I've learned a bit, to be honest with you, since then in regards to sort of, I don't know, in regards to more texturing sort of knowledge around substance and PBR, because there's a lot wrong with it in that regard, and that's why I believe, you can probably correct me, but I believe that's why it kind of looks quite stylized rather than real. Which, to be honest, it's not really like a here or there look I was going for. It's more like, what do I feel looks nice?
Yeah, you're going for like make it cool.
Yeah.
Like you're making it for you, really, right?
Yeah.
And then all the other stuff is like, let's just see how it turns out. And I mean, dude, it is cool, and the attention to detail and how stuff is hooked together. Like explaining how straps are connected and like this hook here, and yeah, it's telling a lot of stories just with the way that it's like bolted together.
Yeah, the serial number on the case is actually my other half's birthday, because she puts up with a lot of me spending a lot of hours doing this stuff. So I've decided to put her birthday on there. She loved it, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is this Is this a washing machine dial or like a stove
Yeah, it
dial?
was meant to be that kind of like, yeah, kind of like that dial.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like the dial to turn up the heat on the stove. That's the vibe I'm getting from it, anyways.
Yeah, like the next kind of level for as well that I kind of like wanted to do is like, especially on like the straps and stuff, like maybe like try and do some kind of ZBrush pass, which again, that's kind of like another, I don't know, tier of things that I'm trying to like get into in regards to sort of being able to add more and more detail to this stuff.
How did you make the straps to begin with?
I just did it in Maya.
Yeah, because you should be able
I
to do
think,
like a soft
yeah,
select if you wanted to, because what you want to do is try and get these to feel like they're overlapping each other. And I mean, I guess
yeah,
you are getting that here, but the silhouette point, that's like where it gets really interesting, because then your silhouette starts to break up.
yeah. Because on the original kind of concept, they're actually like twisted at that midpoint. You know, it's kind of like
Oh,
twisted around,
yeah,
or it should be, and I kind of struggled to figure out how to do that.
yeah. I guess, I mean, twisting it in by modeling it, it sounds painful.
Yeah, yeah,
Trying to get that to work. But yeah, I when I look at the flats, it's like that's when I see like this is the albedo, right? And
yeah,
that red is super saturated. And I think
yeah,
that's what you're talking about when you're saying you've learned a
yeah.
bit more about PBR, and same with the color of the metal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, even just you stick, I don't know, the PBR validation stuff and things like that, and then you sort of start to realize the grenade actually that I kind of recently did was
Mm,
me trying to maybe adhere more to trying to get that realism look with the PBR materials. Um, you know, not as saturated and whatnot, and keeping an eye on the levels of that stuff.
yeah, yeah. There are certain aspects. This is definitely closer to like uh, being familiar with like how PBR works, and then it's just about knowing where to not go too far, because you can
Yeah,
add so much detail, and like thinking about how it looks like a lot of the details in the roughness. There is a bit of color in there as well, but it looks like there's a lot of information in your roughness, and
yeah,
making that information make sense is probably the most important, because you can go insane in roughness, but it's knowing uh, those those details that are showing up in the roughness patterns themselves are following what you would logically see uh,
yeah,
where it's happening, right? So like here it
yeah.
feels really cloudy, and I'm not sure. Let me see if I can. Oh, dude, this is super high res. This is great. Uh, this is so good. Um, yeah, we can get right in here. Yeah, so like that roughness here, I'm not sure
Yeah,
what causes that type. It almost looks like maybe like a smoke, um, acid smoke effect that occurs,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is the only way I
Because
can make it relate, right?
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
And then so these are marks here for a grenade that keeps getting reused.
yeah. Because
Or
it's
is
like a
it? Yeah.
yeah. Because the idea is like that's like a shell and it's a drone grenade, and the capsule's replaceable, so the drone cage comes
Oh my
back.
god.
So I thought the soldiers could mark like every time it got a kill or something. I mean, it's
Yeah,
pretty
they
brutal,
throw
but
they throw the capsule out. It starts spinning. It flies over the guys and then drops its
yeah,
payload.
yeah.
Dude, that's I wonder how you make that more visible, because that's amazing.
Um, but yeah, that was the idea anyway around it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've recently did a Blender course for the first time as well, which was the drone tutorial by Simon. I can pronounce his name.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But then, like in there, it talks about the materials, about being sort of when it comes to this stuff, being more subtle about it and deliberate. And I think I went a bit too far in areas on this one. I think by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean your metalness map looks pretty good. This metalness, right? Or like what's
Yeah,
metal and what's not. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you'll notice in a lot of game studios they get really hardcore about either black or white and try not to have any gray.
yep,
Um, and that's mainly because PBR is physically based. It's not physically correct. Someday we'll have physically correct rendering. um, But yeah, when I look at the albedo, I'm seeing a lot of information that you would just put in your roughness. So maybe a lot of this noise that we're feeling is just simplifying your albedo and letting the roughness do the talking.
Yeah. Okay. That's all good stuff to think about in the next stuff. I think. Oh, well, I can always go back to this one as well.
Oh, dude, this is cool, man. This is terrifying too, because now I can just imagine the throwing this and then just seeing it like fly over a wall and then drop, and you just oh
yeah,
boy,
see ya.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, so there's a little bit of resolution stuff going on here, and I'm wondering how that happened. I don't know. It basically looks like it's lower res here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there.
There's a line here as well, and I wish this viewer had like a. Oh yeah, you can see it here in the roughness a little easier. So this looks like just the UVs are stretched.
Yeah.
So maybe. Okay, I think I know what's going on. Did you, when you were modeling this, at one point while you were texturing, did you decide to make this taller? Because then you would just grab all of these vertices and pull it up just a little bit.
I mean, I can't recall doing it, but
crazy.
It could well be.
Yeah, because it just looks like this loop here was pulled up.
Oh, yeah,
and it stretched
right. No,
the UVs.
100% did do that. Yep.
All right, cool. cool. But yeah, I mean, when it comes down to like these details, oh yeah, there's a lot of like little micro. Be careful with like how much of this detail you put into your bake.
Okay.
Just because you can add this stuff later if you need to in post. I guess maybe this detail was added in like Substance Painter, right?
This stuff was, yes. This was Substance Painter doing that stuff.
Yeah, so it's just being careful with. I would do it on edges and then try and leave a majority of the surfaces smooth. I mean, it really depends, I guess. But this can introduce a lot of noise, I think, is the thing we should say.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Do you have any questions that maybe I haven't answered yet?
No, I mean, I suppose really in my mind, I'm just trying to get a clear sort of roadmap for me in the next year, because I'm like, what I should really just hone in on focus. I suppose is just keep doing what I'm doing with some, and improving with additional props and whatnot.
Do you want to make props? Is that the idea?
That was like my original goal for the last year, was like to try and focus on that, especially the last few months, like trying to hone in exactly what I want to do as far as like a role.
Right. I mean, the other thing is like once you're in the industry, that can always change, right? You can always start as a props artist and then later go to become an environment artist. Or
well, I mean, to be honest, like in my mind, like I just that was my first initial sort of, that's the goal. And then also to potentially longer term, once you've got hopefully the experience to sort of become maybe more of a technical artist in regards to sort of blending the technical sort of background that I have. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
I'm just trying to keep it. I'm trying to get to a point where I'll keep it focused. Otherwise, I'm gonna, be lost.
yeah. No, I get that. Zoltan in chat says he votes that you make a tank or a mech. So
a tank or a mech. All right.
Yeah. I used to work with Zoltan. He's a good guy. He's so funny. But yeah, I guess if I were to say what you should focus on, I mean, build things that you like to build, and really just like hone in on getting the really good bakes. Reuse UVs when you can, like when you can overlap UVs, so that you don't have to take up more UV space. And just getting the PBR materials like tuned in, because I can see it happening. It's just it takes time, right? So putting the time into it is how you do it. Not saying that you grind out like 8 hours every day after work, because that's how time works. But I think that's I think you're on the road to it. I don't see it taking too much longer, honestly. It's just like detail normals, understanding PBR, and pushing pushing yourself to go and make some shapes. Like right now, you don't have too much mechanical stuff other than the bomb. Was it the
Mm,
bomb?
yeah,
And
and that's not really
yeah.
a game asset, you know.
See, and I honestly, looking at that, I think you could actually, with enough tricks up your sleeve, you could pull off that same look in real time.
Mm.
But yeah,
Okay, that's awesome. I mean, thanks so much for
yeah,
going through this stuff. It's always nice to chat to people, especially this time, with COVID and whatnot, on lockdown. Where it
yeah,
used to be.
dude. Yeah, it's slowly changing all over the place, right?
Yeah, cool,
But yeah, feel free to poke me if you need some feedback or anything like that. I am around, and
awesome.
of course,
Thanks.
thanks for hanging out in the Discord and helping everyone as well.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, they've mainly been helping me more than be the other way around. But it's been
Yeah,
awesome. It's an awesome community. I love it.
awesome. All right, dude. Well, I think I'm gonna hop to the. I think we're on the last one. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries. Thanks again. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Cheers, dude. Have a good evening.
See ya.
Bye.